We have Spirals for you today. That's an amazing one. We have Altergeist coming back with Snake Eyes of all packages, and the good old Horus control with a few other goodies for you today. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Yes, I know how many people love Spyral as an actual concept deck out here. Well, I mean, just because we don't have Master Plan doesn't mean that some people aren't trying the idea of having this deck be viable right now. Because, I mean, you still have triple quick kicks, you still have triple drones, you still have all of the necessary ingredients to try to combo up and make these pretty cool boards. And you do have access to Regulus, which is, don't forget, 100% searchable. Now, this build did basically forego main decking hand traps, except for the imperms, which is kind of understandable, but you know, if you need to board appropriately, you know, you have the whole squad down here for you to be able to bring in. My only real concern about playing this deck is I would be really scared to lose to, you know, the randomness that kind of comes with this format. You know, you will see, well, really some crazy things out here that'll come left field that'll kind of just ruin your day. And we've come to see and know that. That's why you have to play things like Crossout Designator in this, because I don't want to lose to, you know, oh no, Nibiru. Yeah, this deck and getting Nibiru'd will be one of the worst things that you can possibly, you know, have. I do see that we are dedicating to the Ghost Trick package to make a Utopic Future into the future Draco. I do think that being able to do this is actually pretty strong. This card right now, yes, you do have things like Imperm in the format, but like this card covers a lot of mileage for you. I also see that we're main decking one evenly to be able to toggle into in case, you know, things kind of start going sideways. And it's actually pretty cool, you know, especially if you're dedicating, you know, cool slots to this. I think it's fine. This deck is all about how fast can we hit the value on the machine dupe and go, go, go. But, you know, I'm happy to see ratios look absolutely amazing for this deck. You can definitely tell that there's been a lot of time and effort put into this. So awesome. Next up here, we have Altergeist, and there are a lot of things I want to talk about here. First of all, yes, they are playing Snake Eyes package in here. I know that's going to be a little bit really for people, but here's the thing. You get access to some of this other interesting stuff. When an Altergeist Link monster is link summoned to your field, you can target one other Link monster on your field. So also summon this card to a zone that card points to. Also, for the rest of this turn, a monster is also treated as an Altergeist monster. I guess this is a free little extension piece, right? Like, being able to beam this thing on out. Now, let's get into the interesting things down here. Yes, all of the multi-fakers are actually cited. So, I believe the way that this deck is trying to go, you're basically using it more as a combo extension package. Basically, the Hextia also being fire is absolutely amazing for this deck. And also, you do have a fire level 1 that you're able to go into, which is the Perninator. I mean, this thing can attack directly and inflicts damage. You get to draw a card. And if it's sent to the graveyard, you get to mill off an Altergeist card. That's actually pretty decent for this deck. See, we are playing 2 copies of Revitalization. We are playing the 1 copy of the Failover as well. I'm intrigued. I really am. This is not the level of, I guess, technology that I expected to see with Altergeist Duelist out here, trying out these packages and going, hey, you know, we can adjust this deck, we can try these different builds, and the fact that you're able to bridge these engines together to get a working deck like this, you know, just like the TG decks and things like that, you know, you can still use the fire package for some really interesting ideas. Okay, I like this. Next up here, the Light and Darkness Horus special. Now, I have mentioned a couple of times on this channel that I am a huge fan of this deck. I love Light and Darkness Dragon as a card. It's one of my all-time favorite cards. So when the OCG started messing around with the idea of, hey, you know, we can start putting, these strong Horus monsters on the field they recur themselves back every single turn, and they also have additional punishing effects on the opponent. Plus, you can start using these Floodgate monsters, or you can use Light and Darkness Dragon as a package to start to grind out your opponent. And that really caught my attention. I mean, like, that's really what you want to do. You want to be able to put monsters on the field that are inherently strong and be able to use that to your advantage. And one of the cool things I do see in here, this build is playing the Secret Village of the Spellcaster, and they're also only dedicating 2 slots to King Sarcophagus. I know a few people are going to be like, well, wouldn't you want to maximize on King Sark? It depends. You are instead choosing to maximize on the Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. I know a lot of the early builds were choosing to play 2 of this, but I guess it comes down to how much interactability, how much searchability do you feel you need to go through here and be able to do your thing? I mean, you've also got to remember this is a once per duel effect, so the rest of them can be dead. But I don't feel like you're too worried about that. Also, I love the one desires, the one pot of prosperity that we have sitting in here. Post-side decking, I mean, you have standard cards to kind of clean up standard problems. You have the triple Dark Lord, triple Super Poly. You also have anti-scam fragrances, the Evenlies, and of course, Summon Limits. You have the entire kit available to you to cleaning up these problematic cards. So, list is good. I'm happy to see it. Also, anytime we can dig out Mausoleum of the Emperor, I think is a good one. We have the standardist hero. What is it with these hero builds? Like, you look at these lists and you're like, oh, there's going to be something exciting. And it's like, the most exciting thing that you get out of these hero decks is today we chose to play 42 cards Duelist, and it's genuinely interesting just to see the choices of ratios. Like, ooh, instead of playing 3 droplets, we chose to optimize with 2. But, these choices are the things that can make or break the scenario. Maybe instead of wanting, 3 droplets, we wanted 2 talents instead. You have your adjustable room for a deck like this. This build's also playing the Foolish Burial and the Called By to make sure they don't lose to the random things. The 1-1 split here is pretty standard. They also chose to main deck Nibia Woos, so you can have the Space Rock be here to handle most of your situations. Phantasme. This is actually kind of something new, but once again, this is a more localized environment list for this particular thing. So you do have to remember that, we are going to try to play things to aid us in our matchups, and Phantasme is one of those fantastic cards that just generates the free advantage trees for you. I do like the idea of this, though. I do think that Phantasme, especially in a hero deck where you can, sculpt your hand and get, like, the setup for the next turn. You're like, maybe I dead drew, some of my worst hero cards, and we can go ahead and sculpt those on back, not a problem, or, find the perfect situation to make sure that, we dead draw these Malleys. No. We don't do that here. Go ahead and tuck it on back. Outside of that, the hero build in the current era, this is essentially what you're looking at. Once you got your ratios down, you kind of make your player choices of the 1 to 2 ofs, and you should effectively be good to go after that. So straightforward. Good stuff. Next up here is Goblins. Oh, man. I see that this build chose to play the triple Fenrir, as you probably should be playing, honestly. I think Fenrir is just too good of a little extension for this deck to actually have. And, yes, there's the Ghost Trick Shot showing back up. This is another one of those scenarios here where, you're playing rank 3s. Guess who is a rank 3? Good old Lu card here. So basically, you're going to make a Lu card, you're going to make the Ghost Trick Angel Mischief, and then you proceed to start going on up the lines of play to get to the Utopic Future Draco here. And then it's just mission accomplished. We have a big, strong boss monster on the field. Yeah, that's pretty good. I also see that this build chose to play Boral Sword. That's actually kind of cute. I like the idea of Boral Sword being one of those cards that, you want to have access to be able to end games. Because sometimes Access Code Talker just doesn't do it. Access Code Talker is good at clearing up fields. Boral Sword's good for just making sure that you can combine essentially 5 monsters to be able to pull off the OTK and clear out the game. And that's why, this card is important in quite a lot of the facets of this game. So, overall, A lot of interesting decks. Spyral especially coming out of really nowhere here, showcasing that, we can do some pretty good things, is actually quite entertaining. So please, what do you guys think about these decks? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think is the funnest profile out of this as well. And please, I want Master Plan back. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.